Evening, everybody. It's 5:52, and this is your closing comment for today, Thursday, the 16th of November, and it is video number 1981. Okay, in the market today, it could not have been a more boring day. Um, Most of the stocks were down. In fact, the Dow was down only 45, but it was almost 2 to 1 to the downside, advanced declines. The NASDAQ was up $9.84 or 0.7%, and it was solidly 2 to 1 to the downside, and volume shrank to 4.5 million. That's basically 10% decline. The big movers, however, those being over 0.13%, were the Russell and the Dow Jones transports. The transports were down 148.50 or 0.99, so 1%. But the Russell, which was down yesterday, I remind you, was down again today. It was the biggest loser, down 27.46 or 1.52%. And that somewhat disturbs me. We're getting back into the very narrow leadership. I mean, it's all NVIDIA and a couple of other names. And as we all know, that is not a healthy situation. Also, not a healthy situation that I warned you about first thing this morning when oil was down less than 45 cents. I mentioned about the lower high, followed by the break and consolidation, followed by another break, followed by another lower high, and that it looked like it was rolling to the downside. The MACD was unusually wide, and the relative strength, I believe I was looking at the weekly. So let me just pull that back up. Yeah, the weekly has definitely been rolling to the downside. And so now we have a series of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row that we're down. And in that 4 weeks in a row, we've actually gone from 90 to 72.37. Today's low, we closed at 73.09. And I'll just go back to the daily so you can see what that looks like. But now we're getting into the oversold area. I would expect to see a bit of a move lower. I don't see us breaking this $70. Frankly, I didn't see us breaking $75, and clearly I was wrong. In other commodities, we had nat gas down just 12 cents, no big deal. We had the gold up 23. This is kind of interesting because yesterday, while gold was down, silver was actually up, and it was up pretty substantially. Today, the gold was catching up, but silver also was up another 40 cents to 23.93. One of the more interesting ones, though, was Bitcoin. Let me change that because I think you'll probably want to see what this one looks like because it was a huge, huge day. It was down 1,780 on the day, back to 36,000. Yesterday was the first time in a while that it looked like it was going to break back to the upside. Let me bring this in a little for you. Where we closed at a new recovery high, 37,820, with a high of 38,125. Today's high was slightly higher, 38,285, and the low was almost 4,000 lower. The low for the day, not 4,000, I'm sorry, it was 3,500 lower than the high of the day. And as I said, closed pretty close to the low. Did manage to have a higher high and a higher low, same as it did yesterday. Um, so it's kind of difficult to read, but we have had a cross on the MACD. We were very overbought on the MACD, and now we're headed lower. It's a while from oversold. And frankly, I think with all the press that it's getting, I think people are getting more comfortable with it. Okay, as far as the earnings went, we had Walmart this morning with a double beat, but it was down $11. It actually finished the day down 13 and three quarters or 8%. So that didn't get any better. Alibaba was about unchanged with this morning. It was 80 and a half down 657. It ended the day at 79.10 down 797. And we also had earnings today after the close. And by the way, we also had the Cisco was 47.55 down 575. That actually gained about a half a dollar. To close about 48.03 down only five and a quarter. Ross Stores was the interesting one. It was 120.14 prior to the earnings. That was down 383. After the earnings, the last is 127 up 303. So that's a $7 reversal. Applied Material beat top and bottom, but the guidance was a little soft. It had closed 154.61, down 76 cents, and only got worse after the earnings. 143.37 down 12 or 7.7%. Gap stores also had earnings. It closed the day 1366 down 41. Last on that one is within pennies of the high of the day, 1580 up $1.73, and that's a solid $2 and change over where it closed the regular session, up about 12%. And one outstanding stock, every day there's a loser du jour, and some days there are a winner du jour. Today's was a winner. SGD. SGD is a real estate development company called Safe and Green Development. This company has only been around since September, or the stock has only been around since September 19th, where it opened at 478, had a high of the day of 1046, which is the all-time high, and closed at 660. I don't know whether it was just a transfer from another company or an IPO. I couldn't find anything on it. From that point on, it continued to work its way lower to have a new low yesterday of 38 cents. It closed 48 cents. So 1046 to 38 cents. Today, however, was another story. It opened at 48 cents unchanged, ran up to $7.52. The last on it is 585. That's up $5.37, and that represents an 1,116% gain. I'll repeat that. 584 up 536. Pretty incredible. No news. Last news that was on the company was, you know, just that it was taking part in a virtual meeting, and that was way back on October the 9th. So there you have it. Tomorrow we are especially light on news, economic news in any event. There's only housing starts and permits. So I'll be back first thing in the morning. Hope you had a better day than most. Have a good one.